All right, thanks for coming to today's 20-minute academy. Today is a little bit different because today we're going to talk about something more technical, and that doesn't necessarily have to do with any particular social media platform. Although I have been, if you follow me a little bit, you know that I'm doing a lot of webinars and seminars about the new Canadian anti-spam law, CASL. And this is important for anybody that wants to market to people in Canada. Basically, the gist of the law is that you need you need permission to send people marketing messages or commercial electronic messages, and the fines are quite stiff, and we all have to adjust and also see how this law is going to be enforced. So the one requirement is that you have to have consent, and today at 10 o'clock, so an hour after this, I'm doing a webinar about CASL and your email list. But CASL also applies to all social media networks and to your emails, your regular emails that you're sending out. And the requirements are that you need to have consent, that you need to post who's sending the email, where can I locate the sender, like a physical address, and an easy unsubscribe option. And so that all sounds to me like you need to have an email signature if you're sending out emails that a reasonable person might interpret as being commercial. That also applies to nonprofits, although a lot of nonprofits, if they're not selling anything, if they're not selling tickets or items, those messages aren't necessarily commercial. But I'm not a lawyer. That's an important disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer, but I have done extensive research on this, and I have access to a lot of materials on this. So today, I want to show you how I created an email signature for in Outlook 2010. This might be similar in other tools, and the tool can be used for all emails, including webmail providers. But I know that there's older and newer versions of Outlook, but Outlook 2010 is the one I'm using, and so I'm using it as an example. So let me share my screen. There it is. Creating a CASL email signature. This is not working, sorry. Hopefully this works better. What I'm using is a signature generator. The web address is htmlseg.com. This is a free tool that I found in a Google search, and it works like a charm. At the end of this tutorial, I will show you how you can change your email address using an HTML editor as well. But for those of you, and most of us, that are not too familiar with HTML, this is a great way of generating that code. So you have the signature generator, you have found it, and the next thing you need to do is enter all of your information. Here is the screenshot. This is the sample the sample email, how it looks when you first start. So you see that it's very very generic and a very long disclaimer. The first thing you can do is import your logo, and it's really easy to do. Filepicker.io is a tool that a lot of websites now use, and you can just drag your logo in there, or find it on your computer on Facebook or wherever you might have it stored. After that, you put in all of your information. There's fields in the primary information. There's fields about the name, and then you always see on the big window in the number 3, the step 3, you always see the information changing. So this is all changing to my information, to my email, my job title. What is important for CASL is the address information, but also important for anything else. And your website should be in there definitely. The next thing is the social media buttons. So as you can see, the tool itself has a lot of them built in. You might not be on all of them. So what you need to do is fill out all of the URLs that that you want to show in your email signature. And you can see that here, how I've done that. So I've filled out Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, LinkedIn, but I've left Instagram away for this because so I could show you, and then there are other tools that I'm not even using. The interesting thing is that you can also include your Skype address, so I find that really handy to do that. So just don't worry about anything that you leave open. Just stays like it. So the next thing is, excuse me. The next thing is to create the email signature. You see here in the tool, in the preview, that there's a very generic email signature in like a disclaimer message in there that I have never seen any reason to have there. So I want to replace this with a more concise message that is compliant to CASL. And what I do whenever I need an HTML code is I go into my blog, into my WordPress dashboard, and start a blog post, and I write it there, and I have all the tools in there. And so I've written a short text, and you can see that the word unsubscribe is highlighted as a link, and that is because I want to be able to give people the opportunity to use that link to unsubscribe. So there's a bit of a code involved here, and that you might need to put into the back of your into your HTML text. So now here you have to do some coding. If you replace the link text, or expand the link text to read question mark, like mail to your email address subject equals unsubscribe, then clicking that link will open a new email in your recipient's email program, and it will have the subject line unsubscribe filled out already. So you're making it really easy to appease those people that don't want to have any emails coming from your email address anymore. So going back to the generator, now I've changed everything. I've changed the colors. There's a color picker. I've changed all the information, and now, as you remember, we have some fields that we left out. So the tool gives me an option of empty the fields. So you can go in and either click clear empty fields or go back and add that information. Just a caution here, the company logo shows as remove empty fields, but and I couldn't change that. But after all, my logo stayed where it was, so I'm not quite sure what that means. So if you clear empty fields, then it will generate that code. Just going to go back here. So this is the code. The third step that they're mentioning here, and this is all very well documented in the tool, is you just highlight everything that is in number 3 and copy that onto your clipboard, and then you go into your Outlook. So, and you open a new email and you click on the link to signature, go to signatures and create a new signature in this window. This is the pop down if you go on signatures. And you type in a new name for the signature. I have called it Bluebird CASL. And then you paste your clipboard into this, and you see that there's a preview and so on. Then you let Outlook know when you want to use this email. See on the top right corner, it says email account. So I specify the email account I want to use. I want to use it for new messages, but not for replies and forwards. I can specify a different address for replies and forwards that I might consider doing that in the future. But after doing that, every time you start a new email in that account, the signature will pop up automatically. So what if you are a little bit more HTML savvy? There's a link on the bottom of the generator page that lets you see the HTML code, and that looks pretty scary because there's a lot of unformatted text, but you can copy this out of there and copy it into your favorite HTML editor. I'm using Notepad++. There you can change all of the colors, the fonts, the links, and the whole way this looks without generating a whole new code. So you can tweak it there, and what you can do is you find your email signatures, usually on a Windows computer. They are on the C drive under Users, App Data, Roaming, Microsoft, and then Signatures. And you can see here in this screenshot there are a number of different versions of my email signature. So depending on what tool the recipient is looking at this, there's one for text-only files, for example, and that's all automatic. So if in a text-only file, my email signature looks like this. So it's still very legible, very well, and that's why I have added here, just sent me an email with the word unsubscribe in the subject line. So not only is that a link in the HTML signature, but it's also the instructions are also in the text-only version. Make sure that if you do LinkedIn, make sure that if you do if you do use the HTML option, make sure that you change your text-only version accordingly. I failed to do that before, and and had a bit of a nonsense text in the text-only version. So if you copy and paste that over, the tool will generate everything for you. And if you use the HTML, make sure that you specify, that you go into the folder and specify a different email address or email signature for your text-only links. Yeah, that brings me to the end of today's 20-minute Academy. Let's see if there's a question. Not right now. If you have any ideas on how to make your phone's email signature CASL compliant, please drop me a line or suggest it on my Facebook page or tweet me about it or whatever you prefer. If you would like to suggest a new topic for the 20-minute Academy, next week we are going to talk about CASL again. Next week we are going to put a positive spin on all of this talk about CASL. It's a new law, the Canadian anti-spam legislation. It's a new law, and there's a lot of things that we learn about what we can't do, but there's a lot of things that we still can do. So I want to talk to you about your ideas, what we still can do in CASL, and what might be even more effective now that hopefully this law will make it less attractive for spammers to send us messages that we don't want. So thanks for watching this replay of the 20-minute Academy. I hope it helps. Let me know if it helps or if you run into troubles. And I hope to see you next week live in the 20-minute Academy next Wednesday at 9.